1960, Massachusetts. A quiet room inside a U.S. Air Force research facility. On a steel desk lies an old piece of parchment, cracked, faded, drawn by hand more than 4 centuries ago, a map. A lieutenant colonel leans closer. He isn't a historian. He's trained to read landscapes, coastlines, and satellite imagery. But this map makes no sense. It shows the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, and something else. A vast white continent at the bottom of the world, Antarctica. Only one problem. This map was drawn in 1513, 3 centuries before Antarctica was discovered. And what's even stranger, the coastline on the map isn't covered in ice. It's bare, detailed, accurate. The officer writes a short note to his superior. The geographical detail of the lower part of this map agrees remarkably with the results of a recent seismic survey. It seems to show the coastline before it was covered by ice. We have no idea how such data could exist. The ice sheet in that region is more than a mile thick. If the map shows the land beneath it, then the original source must have been created thousands of years ago, long before modern civilization. But who could have drawn it? And what else did they know about our world? The parchment is known today as the Piri Reis Map, named after an Ottoman admiral, a scholar, a man of the sea. Piri Reis himself never claimed to have surveyed the lands. He said he compiled his chart from earlier sources, some ancient, some already lost in his own time. In his notes, scribbled in tiny Ottoman script, he wrote that some of those source maps dated back to the time of Alexander the Great, and others to the days before the flood. Most historians dismiss that as myth, but when modern scientists compared his drawing with seismic scans of Antarctica, the shapes aligned. Almost perfectly, the mountains, the rivers, the curvature of the coast, everything matched. The map had been drawn according to a mathematical projection that required advanced geometry, the kind of knowledge we didn't fully develop until the 18th century. So either history is incomplete, or the world once held a level of science that vanished, leaving behind only fragments. The deeper we look, the more fragments appear. A 1531 map by Orontius Phineas, showing rivers flowing through Antarctica's frozen interior. A later map by the French geographer Philippe Boischet, revealing valleys and mountains beneath the ice, centuries before we discovered them. Different centuries, different nations, the same impossible knowledge. It's as if the memory of an earlier world was passed down through generations of map makers, copied, reinterpreted, never fully understood, until it reached the hands of a sailor in the Age of Discovery. Imagine what that means. If these coastlines were mapped when they were still ice-free, the survey must have been made at least 6,000 years ago, perhaps more. But history tells us there were no civilizations capable of such work. No technology, no mathematics, only hunter-gatherers. And yet, the map exists. What if the story of humanity is older than we think? What if an earlier age rose to greatness, explored, measured, understood the world, and then was lost to catastrophe, their traces hidden under glaciers? Their memory preserved only in myths. Their maps copied and recopied, surviving just long enough to reach us. Every civilization believes it is the first. But the earth is ancient. It forgets slowly. Beneath our feet are stories written in the stone and ice, stories we have barely begun to read. When we look at that strange parchment, we aren't seeing the imagination of a sailor. We're staring into the ghost of a world that might have come before ours, a world erased, but not entirely forgotten. Perhaps it left us a message, hidden in plain sight, in the lines of a map that shouldn't exist.